Hi, it's good to see you. Welcome to my cabin. Come on in. It's your first time here, so I wanted to show you a few of my favorite pieces. As we come into the cabin, of course it's autumn in the country, so we're just getting ready for that season, but there's a few things I especially love. And this is one of my most prized pieces. This was my great-great-great-grandmother, Greens. They were the Greens. And she used this whenever they were traveling up from Kentucky. This is her bread bowl. And this is an amazing piece of history for me. And I even feel a connection with her, even though I obviously never knew her, to know that this is what the bread she made for my great-great-granddad. Over here, I decided I had to have a farm table because, you know, you have to. I live in the farm, so I had to have a farm table. So I asked my dad. He and I go out and we work on things, and on weekends we spend time together. So we decided to go scavenging again out in our barn, and my granddad Green, he keeps everything, and so we went out and we found some of this beautiful old wood that was actually in a pig barn when he used to keep hogs. And my dad and I planed it, and you can actually see where I'm not quite strong enough to hold the wood. But I like that because that's a sign of something my dad and I did, and I'll always have those imperfections where I dropped the wood when we were planing it. But we found the wood, so we stripped it, planed it, and then I thought we have to have some legs. So I went out and again looked around in the barn and found some old legs that were on my brother's bunk beds when they were little. So that's again another. I just love family pieces like this. Cost me $25 to make this whole table, so I just love this and will always cherish this piece. Before we get back to the kitchen, I want to show you this barn wood. When I was deciding to build the cabin, and my parents and I actually, my mother designed it, and my dad, my mom, and my uncles and cousins, we built the place, and we decided, my mom actually said, what about some old barn lumber? And we went and we had a barn out behind my parents, and then my granddad had also, his neighbor had just recently taken down some of his barns. He has a meat processing place, and they took down the old barn wood, and they decided they weren't going to use it. So my granddad luckily kept it, and my dad would cut it and fit it. My mom and I would clean it and scrape it, and I think it's just beautiful. This is so old. This has been around for many generations. They don't make 18-inch boards very often anymore. They're that thick. So this is not going anywhere. Okay, we'll go on in and see how the ladies are doing. We're making some cheesy bread for you today, and then some back to school treats. So come on in. We are making some of our cheesy bread today. So Sabre, good, we've got that. We are going to go ahead and set the oven to 375. That won't take too long to do. While Pam is mixing that up, let's go ahead and put the bread on our cookie sheet.
Good.
Here we go. And Sabre, if you want to, you can grab that knife here and start. Can you give me a quick chop of that? If you hold it tight and just make real little rocking motions, you will be fine, and we'll get some of that up. Yeah, small pieces. Keep them small together. There we go. So Pam's mixing up our concoction here. Looks very good. I think I'll go ahead and get the girls. Caitlin, you guys come on over. These are my nieces, so they're going to help us actually make some back to school treats for the teachers. Okay, let me get you guys some stuff here.
Okay.
You need to unwrap both of those. 2 packages of cream cheese. We have a 1.5 cups of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of white sugar, regular sugar, and then I need 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And this is going to be our caramel apple dip that we're going to take back to our teachers. Pam, do you have everything?
Yes.
Everything in there? Good. And Sabre, you can actually add the green onions to that. Probably not all of them, maybe half of it. Yeah, that looks great. The rest we'll save for a salad. And actually, these green onions, a little tip, you wouldn't think they would freeze, but they do. If you'll take them and put them in a little container, you can put them in their freezer and get those out every so often, and they're wonderful. Now, maybe not for fresh salads, but if you're cooking with them, it's perfectly wonderful.
They have them in the grocery store too.
Oh, we need this whole stick of butter too. Oh, we're not going to be, see, we don't count calories out in the country. There's no calorie counting out in the country. because if you're going to live, you need to live. I can worry about the other stuff later. I want to be happy. Huh?
Take a bike ride.
There you go. Take a bike ride and eat some cheesy bread. But this is not something you want to, of course, eat every day. You know, you wouldn't be standing long if you did that. So, but this is for special occasions, a night out with the girls, to have them in. All right.
What goes in this?
Inside this we have a lot of cheese, cheddar cheese, Parmesan cheese, and some mozzarella. And we have a cup of mayonnaise and some butter. And so we put that in, and then we add the green onion, and it's just a nice flavor.
Here we go.
So I am going to take this, and we're going to smear that on the bread and bake it. What they're making is a caramel apple dip that we're going to put in small mason jars, and they put an apple on the top of it, and they put it in a little bag, and it's really cute, and it's an apple for the teacher, but kicked up a little bit. Just not just an apple. It also has some caramel sauce to go with it. We took our computer and we printed off some tags with the recipe and a welcome back to school tag, and you'll want to tie that one more time, make it look pretty. And then we end up with some pretty bags to take to their teachers. And again, it's just a homemade gift that is just very sweet, very personable, and tells them how much we appreciate them. Sometimes if you like it a little bit with a little more kick, you could always add some fresh garlic or some garlic salt if you need it a little saltier. But it's just a nice thing to add whenever maybe you have like a piece of chicken and a small salad and this bread. You don't want to eat this with a heavy meal, but something very light in the summer. It's an excellent side. Here you go, girls.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you eat it with a fork if you'd like to.
Oh, thanks.
And see what you think. And you can lie if you want, if you don't like it. That's okay too.
It's got to be good. It's got good stuff in it.
Pick it up. Very good.
Okay, good.
Wonderful.
It's very good.
Thanks for coming by and joining us today. I so enjoy being with my friends, and it's just a nice time for women to get together and kind of settle down and relax and think about what's important. And this is what's important. Not that our jobs are not, but enjoying life. And I learned that lesson so much through my mother. She has been such a wonderful influence in my life, and she taught me when to work hard and when to relax. And one thing she did so well for me, she did this fireplace for me. We had never done this before, but we kind of have that kind of spirit that you can try it. What happens if you mess up? You start over, and that's okay to make mistakes. And so she started doing that. It took her 3 weeks to do this because she would move each piece just the way she wanted to. And I so enjoy that because I've always said the women in my family, I think back to the women who were the pioneers and who walked behind their husbands and were cleaning the rocks out of the fields for the first time when this land was developed. And I like to think that the women in my family were the type of women that joined that and joined the fight and cleaned out the fields and took care of it instead of the ladies who were in the back with vapors and missed the whole ride. Because it's the ride that's important, and that's what's exciting. So thank you for joining me, and we hope you had a good evening. Thank you, and you're welcome back to my country anytime.
And the country I was thinking